Just when you thought it was finished. What do we got here? Oh, it's another ribbon, but in this one, the metal part is still intact, and the ribbon does move nicely. It may be that this metal piece, which looks like it could be removable, could be swapped over to a ribbon that is upset. What do we have here? 1988 SEW QS C128 version 5. Well, it looks like it's a ROM of some sort. Probably an EEPROM of some sort. SEW QS. I have no idea what that is. That too, if you have any idea, as it says right on here, copyright 1988 SEW QS C128 version 5. What is it? I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, what do we got here? This looks like an extender cable of sorts, or a patch cord to take sound from something that would use a headset adapter into something else. Why is it in there? No clue. Here's a funny story. I remember this is a thing that is supposed to keep radio interference from coming. You plug this into the wall, then you plug your radio into it. And I remember looking at things just like this. This is where it would have come from, at a store on on Avenue Road called, it might have been Globe Electronics. It may have been something else, but it was near Avenue Road in Wilson, Avenue Road in North, midway along, very close to the Black Cat Fish and Chip store. And I remember seeing these things, and oh, that's kind of cool. And I guess I must have got one. Well, years later, and oh, by the way, on the front of it, it says Sarasota, Florida. Anyway, years later, when I was living in Sarasota, Florida, there was an auction because some place in this great big industrial, old-looking but industrial building was shutting down, closing down, moving, doing whatever. There was an auction. So I went, and sure enough, it was the place that had made these things, because I saw a bunch, not necessarily of these, the whole thing, but certainly of these outer plugs that said Sarasota, Florida. Oh, we're getting there. What is that thing? There's a little thing here. Well, it looks like maybe some kind of diagnostic thing that would plug into an RS-232 something. There's really nothing much to it, except that it's a maybe it's a null modem. I don't know. It's got a little circuit board. Got the connector. Who knows? Okay. What else? Oh. Aha. Here is something marked Commodore. It looks, well, maybe these are parts. Well, no, that I can't imagine. This has the look. It's got a little Commodore logo on it. And it has a little thing. It looks like maybe it goes with that VIC-20 diagnostic thing. And maybe it plugs onto the keyboard connector. Yeah, I got you. I'm sure. You know what? Because it's got one of the pins filled in. I'm going to set that over here. I still don't remember ever having that. And here, of course, is a Super Graphics printer interface by Z-Tech. Beautiful things. Reset switch would go to the Centronics parallel port. And see, here's the thing. Some companies made printers and tailored them to work with the 64 and the VIC-20, and they put on a Commodore interface, which was all fine, which means you didn't need an interface. What is all this? But then, look, another interface. Same thing. Ooh, dead tape. Another Super Graphics by Z-Tech. We'll just set that there. Anyway, what would happen is the printers would have to be kind of dummied down to just do the Commodore things, and you would lose some of the features. So it was still often better to get a non-Commodore printer and spend some extra money on the interface to get more features. Here is another thing from Richfield Telecommunications, otherwise known as RTC, called a VL3 cable. And it does look like it would go probably, I would bet, yes, to a Centronics parallel printer, I would bet. Doesn't look like it's hardly ever been unpacked. Okay, we're almost there. What is this thing? This is a user port extender cable. Use this side facing up. Full 24-pin support plus shield. This is also by the same people who made that 1670 thing. So yes, a user port extender cable. Once again, another thing I never remember using or having or anything. Aha, here is another ribbon. Looks like it's well used. Also looks like the protective foil here is long gone. But the printer ribbon itself looks, I don't know if you can see that, it's been used a lot. So also for the 8023P. Alright, we're almost done. What do we got here? Oh, another Data 20 printer interface. Small and cute. With a cable to match. Once again, I will have to dig into these things. Aha. Here we have something with a springy thing, probably. Does it say anything? No, it does not. Well, kind of got a telephone cord thing. I suspect, once again, it's another user port to RS-232 converter, adapter. Like the springy cable, gives a lot. You could use it very close, you could use it far away, and it would still be pretty okay. Okay, what is this? I find some more small things. Aha. Oh. Well, here's... Here's a little logo nameplate thing from a Macintosh. Is there any Macintosh other stuff in here? No, I don't think so. This, to me, well, it's a thing with two LEDs side by side. It may be from a disk drive. It may be from an Amiga 500. I don't think it's from a Commodore 128. I think maybe it could be from an Amiga 500 because there was one light for power and one light for disk activity. I will have to investigate. Alright, what else? Almost done. Oh look, it's another little nameplate from a Macintosh. Probably, I kept those, thinking I would turn them into pins. Alright, we're almost done. What's this? Well, this is a little clip thing. I don't know what it... Not a clip, but a thing to slide over something. Must have come off something else. You can go back in. This, best as I remember, is known as a gender bender. If you had an RS-232 thing, and you ended up with, you wanted to hook it up to something, and you had two cables of the same gender, I suspect female, and you wanted to plug them together, of course they wouldn't work. So this, it's male and male. So if you connect these to two females, you then have a good connection. And finally, this is probably something to do. Well, it's a printer thing, and it's probably an early thing that went on either, well, it could have been on an Amiga. One thing to beware of, very careful, printer cables, the printer port on an Amiga 1000 is different. The RS-232, or what looks like the RS-232, or whatever, the DB25, whatever it is. It looks like what you might find on an IBM something. It's not. It's different. If you try and put an IBM cable on it, you'll fry the printer. Keep that in mind. Make sure you know what you are doing before you plug things in. I sense the phone is ringing. Indeed it is. So, I'm going to answer this, and we'll look at more of these things in the future. Thank you so much for being here. Bye for now. Hello? Oh. Yes. Yes, yes. Yep. Huh? Oh yes, what is happening there? Hello? What is happening there? Might as well. Oh yeah. You never know what you will find. Indeed. Well, I found a box of interfaces and cables in the basement. I was just going through them. Oh, old Commodore interfaces and cables, bits and pieces. Including one that says VIC-20 Diagnostic, which is like a cartridge that I never remember seeing. But I must have had it somewhere, because I've got it in this box. And I think, huh? Yes. Putting things back in. Oh. Many things. Some I remember. Some I do not remember. Including, do you remember, there was this thing. What was the name of the electronics store that smelled like cigar on Avenue Road? No, the one that smelled like cigars that was right near the black... Yeah, I think it might have been. You know, anyway, I remember we would see in there this thing that was designed to cut down on radio interference. It was just like a plug that you would plug the radio into. And on the front of it, it said, wait for it, Sarasota, Florida. And the funny thing is, years later, when I lived in Sarasota, I ended up at an auction because the place that made these things and lots of other things was shutting down. Because I remember going through and looking at things, and there was a whole box of, I don't think it was these things, but I think it was the plug that went around them, which was this kind of, it had lots of ridges on the side and flat on the front. It's just a two-prong thing, and it said on the flat part, Sarasota, Florida. But I think the idea was radio interference or radio noise, or and I also found in the box with that Vic 20 thing what looks to be a little circuit board that is intended to stick onto the keyboard connector when you, I guess, hook it up and try and run the diagnostics. Once again, something I do not remember. Well, I think, see, the whole thing is, when you're testing some of these things, you don't have necessarily a keyboard attached. So it's just this little thing that I guess does something. Well, yeah, it does something to return whatever signal to let it know if, I don't know, anyway. Probably so. Oh, ow. Just getting up. Oh.